So we're going to start out on the bench with this Special Force MPU, and I have Leon's test ROM installed. On this board I have installed a 6116 NV RAM, gotten rid of the battery, replaced this 82 ohm current limiting resistor, this big one in the middle, and I have replaced all the headers all the way around, which is no easy task on these 6803 boards. You have to pull each pin out individually, and it's really not for the faint of heart. So let's boot it with Leon's ROM, and it is pulsing those lower 8 LEDs. That is normal for the jumper configuration that I have installed, which is jumpers 8 and 10 in, 9 and 11 out. Now I am going to press the diagnostic button here, and we'll see the coils fire in order. I have wired my test rig so they fire in a well, they fire in the order that they fire in. I have just wired it to the LEDs so that it walks down from left to right. You can see it fires 2 of them at the same time, or 3 of them at the same time like it did there, and I have that marked on my LED bar. So over to the lamps, and I have a lamp tester which I really like. It was made by this fella a long time ago. I can't find him anymore. You can see all those lamps are lit up, and the one that is not, this is where the key pin is on the connector, and this gap is where the gap between the connectors is. So I'm going to move this down now. The only thing I don't like about this particular lamp tester is those resistors get hot. Okay, so now we've got the key pin 2 in the gap and another key pin, so that is all correct. And now I'm going to go all the way to the top. We've got a key pin here, another gap, and then we're lighting them up individually. And this last one is where a key pin is. So that is all working correctly. Now, to make these LEDs blink, I need to attach my power supply, or the power to those LEDs, to the AC voltage. Well, they call it DC, but it's really full wave rectified, so the AC sine wave passes through 0. This is connected to the 5-volt test point on the board, and so those LEDs will stay on for this test. It's all good. Thank you so much. Let's take it over to the game and make sure that the switch matrix and the displays are working. And here we have this MPU inside my 8-ball champ, and I've jumpered the MPU and installed an 8-ball champ ROM, and so I'm in switch test now. So that was all of column 1. And all of row 1. So the switch matrix is operating fine. Let me go into the lamp test with this hateful keyboard controller. And lamp test is test 90. Well, that didn't work. Oh, it's still in switch test. Let me press the diagnostic button again. Okay, now we're in lamp test, and I'm going to test this with my test rig also, but it looks like all these lamps on my 8-ball champ are working properly. And the next test is display test. And that beating that you see is the interaction between the camera refresh rate and the 60 cycle lamp, fluorescent lamp above it. So these displays are working fine. So that was solenoid test, and those are working fine too. There's the limited sound test that you get. So that is all that I can test in the game. So I've gone through and set the register, as Bally called them at that time, to squawk and talk versus cheap squeak, because my 8-ball champ has a squawk and talk. And then you have to set the sound mode to something between 0 and 3, and 3 is full sound. So I wanted to make sure that this game was driving the soundboard correctly, or the MPU was driving the soundboard correctly.
Chalk up, rack up, shooting solids.
And now you can see that that is working perfectly.